The Titanic took more than lives to the bottom of the ocean. Locked in her cargo hold is an object worth more than every piece of jewelry in the purser's safe combined. It's not the luxury car everyone talks about. It's not the opium or the mercury or the trunks filled with fortune. It's something that took 2 years to create and can never be rebuilt. Right now, at this moment, it's sitting in the darkness, covered in 1,500 precious stones, completely untouched. And we're about to show you exactly where it is. The cargo manifest reads like a shopping list from another world. There were 3,364 bags of mail that would never be delivered, 50 cases of toothpaste, crates of orchids packed in ice, and something called dragon's blood, a deep red tree resin used for medicine and dye. These were just the ordinary items. But the Titanic wasn't carrying ordinary cargo for ordinary people. The richest families on Earth trusted this ship with their fortunes. It was the Astors, the Wideners, the Guggenheims. Their names were legends, and their belongings filled this hold. There were barrels of wine that imploded under the pressure, crates of machinery meant for American factories, expensive cheese, barrels of mercury. This wasn't just a passenger ship. It was a floating warehouse of an entire economy, all heading to New York, all stopped dead by ice. But these common goods, valuable as they were, aren't what we came for. Oh, something far more extraordinary is buried deeper in this wreckage. Among the scattered crates and collapsed shelves sits something that stops us cold. A 1912 Renault Type CB Coupe de Ville, the only automobile known to be aboard the Titanic. It belonged to William Carter, a first-class passenger who survived the sinking. His car did not. We can picture it in the darkness. Brass headlamps that once gleamed under gaslight, leather seats stitched by hand, as wooden spoke wheels built for the streets of Paris. This was cutting-edge technology in 1912, a machine that represented speed and progress and the future. Now it sits in the deepest garage on the planet, slowly dissolving into the silt. The metal is corroding, the leather is gone, but the frame remains like a skeleton of ambition. For decades, people assumed this car was the most valuable thing in the cargo hold. They were wrong, because a car, no matter how rare, can be replaced. What we're hunting for cannot. Surrounding the heavy cargo are piles of trunks and suitcases. These aren't just bags, they're time capsules. The leather trunks of first-class passengers have survived remarkably well. The tanning process preserved them. Inside, perfectly protected by the lack of oxygen, are ball gowns meant for New York society parties, tuxedos that would never be worn, jewelry boxes still closed. We've seen photographs of boots that look freshly polished, by gloves still paired together. These people packed for futures that would never happen. A woman folded her finest dress, thinking she'd wear it at a Manhattan dinner. A man placed his cufflinks in a case, planning to impress business partners. Every item down here represents a plan, a hope, a tomorrow that ended in ice water. These personal treasures feel priceless because of the stories attached to them. But value isn't always about emotion. Sometimes it's about craftsmanship so extraordinary that it can never be repeated. And that's exactly what's buried somewhere in this chaos. Forget the car, forget the gold, forget every diamond in the purser's safe. There was one crate loaded onto the Titanic that contained something truly irreplaceable. It wasn't money, it was art. It was a book, but not just any book. This was the Great Omar, a jeweled edition of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, and it was a masterpiece. And the binding took 2 years to create. Craftsmen covered it in Moroccan leather, and decorated it with unparalleled extravagance. 3 peacocks were embroidered onto the cover, their tails made of pure gold thread. But the real value was in the jewels. Over 1,500 precious stones were set into that binding by hand. Rubies, emeralds, turquoise, each one placed with precision. In today's money, its value as art is incalculable. You cannot put a price on something that cannot be recreated. And all the skills to make it are gone. The artists are gone. It was being shipped to an American collector, packed carefully in the cargo hold, likely near the Renault. When the iceberg struck and water flooded the forward compartments, the cargo hold drowned first. We can picture the freezing Atlantic swirling around that crate, the pressure building until the wood shattered. The book tumbled into the mud, its 1,000 jewels scattering into darkness. Oh, and that's where it has been for over a century. For decades, explorers have asked the same question. Could the Great Omar still exist? The answer is yes. Leather can survive underwater for centuries. We've proven that with the trunks. Gold doesn't corrode. And gemstones are practically imperishable. Right now, beneath layers of gray silt, somewhere in the wreckage of the cargo hold, those 1,500 jewels could still be shining. Rubies catching no light, emeralds pressed into mud, and the peacocks frozen in their golden dance. It's entirely possible that the most valuable book ever created is still intact, waiting in the darkness. But here's the problem. We can't get to it. The cargo hold is buried deep within the bow section, underneath decks of collapsing steel. The ship is falling apart. Every year, the metal weakens. The structure becomes more unstable. To send a remotely operated vehicle into that maze of jagged beams and twisted corridors is to risk losing it forever. The Titanic guards her treasures jealously. The Great Omar has become the holy grail of lost literature. It's tantalizingly close. We know roughly where it is, but it might as well be on another planet. The cargo hold is a museum that no one can visit. The Renault sits in eternal darkness. The trunks hold clothes for parties that never happened. And the Great Omar lies somewhere beneath it all, covered in jewels that no eyes will ever see again. Oh, we chase these treasures because they represent something bigger than money. They're proof of human ambition, the desire to create beauty, to build machines, to cross oceans carrying the best of what we've made. But the ocean doesn't care about ambition. It takes everything equally. The priceless and the worthless both turn to rust on the same floor. Maybe that's the real treasure down there. Not the book itself, but what it represents. We built something perfect, and something that took 2 years of careful work and 1,500 precious stones. And nature claimed it in seconds. The Great Omar is still down there, sleeping with the wreckage. And it's not alone. The Titanic carried secrets we haven't even imagined yet. Somewhere in that darkness, something else is waiting to be